Coming up on the Paper Talk today, we're going to be talking about Denzel Dumfries. Yes, we're back in for him, and it looks like there could be a swap deal on the horizon. Also, Harry Maguire has been giving an interview about his future at Manchester United. Plus, what is happening with Jadon Sancho? It looks like there could be a bit of movement. Let's get into it. Jay here for Stretford Paddock. As you can see, I'm not outside Old Trafford. I'm not in the studio. I'm not in my kitchen. I'm in LA. We've just got to Los Angeles. It is about 1 o'clock in the morning here, but we are doing the news. We are going to be doing lots of news, reviews, previews, all that good stuff. We're going to get into it. Make sure you are hitting like, share, and subscribe. We've got stories about Denzel Dumfries and Aaron Wan Bissaka, what's going on there. We're going to talk a little bit about Jadon Sancho as well. Also, there's a little bit of movement, or there's updates when it comes to Jarrad Branthwaite, so we'll be getting into that. So make sure you are hitting like, share, and subscribe so you don't miss out. First of all, let's talk about Jadon Sancho. Chris Wheeler in the Mail did a story here saying that Jadon Sancho could still end up getting a move away from Old Trafford. Now, we've had this sort of truce, if you will, between Jadon Sancho and Erik ten Hag. They've sort of buried the hatchet. They've apologised, or Jadon Sancho's apologised to the manager. The manager's accepted it. We've seen Jadon Sancho back in the squad playing for Manchester United again. Many of us thought we might never see the day where Jadon Sancho represented Manchester United again, but he has done. Has he fully been brought back into the fold, though? Does the manager look at him and think, yeah, this is a player I can rely on, this is a player I can trust, this is a player I want to use in the season coming up? I'm not so sure, and according to reports, including one in the Mail, PSG are interested in Jadon Sancho, and that deal could still happen. Let me know what you think about the Jadon Sancho situation, because we've been asking about this, and it seems like the majority of Reds are saying, no, not for me. Like, let him go to PSG, or we can get a decent bit of money for him, move him on. But there are some that say, look, there's a player there. There's a decent player there. He did help Dortmund get to the Champions League final last season. He has got a relatively okay record in terms of goals and assists when you look at his career. I think the thing that sort of skews it a little bit is his record is around sort of a little bit better than 1 in 3 for a goal involvement. But a lot of that comes from his time at Dortmund, that first time round. Remember, his last season at Dortmund, he had 36 goal involvements in 39 games. He's never quite got near them numbers again, and he certainly hasn't got near them for Manchester United. So we'll have to wait and see what happens that one. But I just feel with Jadon Sancho, he's flattered to deceive United. Manager came in, he tried to make it work with him, he sent him to the Netherlands 3 months, he brought him back, they had this massive fallout. He went to Dortmund where, yes, like I said earlier, he did get to them to a Champions League final, but I don't think he set the world alight on his second spell at Dortmund. He had some good games, but he had some underwhelming ones as well. He's come back into the fold. Now PSG is showing an interest. I think if United can get 35, 40 million for him, we should take it. It's a big if, though. There's no guarantee we will. Let me know what you think. In other news as well, Jarrad Branthwaite. There's a lot of rumours going around, a lot of reports going around that he's not actually happy at Goodison, that he actually does want to move. What we do know is that Everton did offer him an improved deal, a better deal for his contract. It doesn't seem to be anywhere near what Manchester United were offering, though. Manchester United, according to the Mail and a few other papers as well, offered Branthwaite a deal which would have basically doubled his wages. Now, the issue there isn't his wages. I think he's happy to come to Manchester United. The terms are more or less agreed. It's the fact that Everton are holding out for this 70 million quid. Obviously, a lot of money to pay for a defender who has done well, but there's still certain question marks. Is he quite the player you need? Is he good enough to come to Manchester United and help us push for a title challenge? Potentially, yeah. Is it a bit of a risk, though, paying £70 million, especially in this sort of era of PSL where Manchester United, like other clubs, have got to balance the books with got to basically sell to buy? Can we afford to spend 70 million quid on Jarrad Branthwaite? I'm not so sure. It looks like we're going to have to see whether Everton will lower their price. If they do, I think Manchester United could come back in for him. But one thing's for certain, he's not settled at the minute. And I've seen a few Evertonians who are really upset at what is going on with Jarrad Branthwaite, because they're looking at it going, he's had his head turned by Manchester United. Now Manchester United have thrown a spanner in the works with his contract negotiations because we've offered him this deal which would double his wages. So it just feels like it's a bit of a funny one here with Everton and Manchester United, where United are trying to get the player, we're offering him a deal that he's happy with. Everton want more money than we're willing to pay. And in this sort of no man's land, if you will, where it's not quite happening for us. We can't get the deal done because we're not willing to pay the 70 million. Everton want to keep him, but they're not going to sell him for the price we want. So we'll have to wait and see what happens on that one. But at the minute, the latest update is basically he's been offered a new deal at Everton, but it doesn't match anywhere near what he's been offered at Manchester United. So you tell me, what's going to go on there. I think we're going to have to wait until someone backs down, or Manchester United might just say, do you know what? We've already brought in Lenny Yoro. We're still looking at Matthijs de Ligt. We'll just walk away from the Jared Branthwaite deal. That could happen. Let me know what you think about the Branthwaite deal. Get involved in the comments. I think it would be a bit foolhardy for Ineos or Manchester United to spend 70 million quid on Jared Branthwaite, though, especially when we keep hearing how we're going to be doing things differently. This very much feels like the sort of deal we used to do under Ed Woodward, the kind of deal that led to us paying 80 million for Harry Maguire, for example. Just talking about Maguire. Maguire's given an interview where he said that not making the Euro squad was one of the lowest points of his career. He's also said that he's got a future at Manchester United, that he feels like he is part of Manchester United's future. We keep hearing all these reports that Manchester United are linked with the likes of de Ligt, linked with the likes of Branthwaite. We've obviously brought in Lenny Yoro. Johnny Evans has signed a new deal. He's here for another year. It's not quite sure what is going on with Harry Maguire, because there are some rumours, reports that potentially he could be moving on. Doesn't feel like there's anything concrete, though. Doesn't feel like you've seen a story where you go, oh yeah, they're in for him, he's going to head there. Not like, remember 12 months ago where he was being linked with a few clubs, I think West Ham were in for him, and you thought that could happen. This time round, it doesn't feel like there is much movement there. So there's every chance he could feature for Manchester United this season. Let me know what you think. He obviously feels like that, and if the bid doesn't come in, then he's going to feature. Do you think he will? Do you think he should? We've still got some defenders I don't think are going to feature at all, if you know, little bit sort of on the fringes of that, likes of Victor Lindelof, for example, who has been linked with a move away. Where does this leave Harry Maguire? We'll have to wait and see. But the latest interview he's given shows that he still feels he's got a future at Manchester United. And to be honest with you, there's nothing to indicate otherwise, because we've not had any bids for him. Certainly not anything that we're hearing anyway. Another story doing the rounds this morning is one about Denzel Dumfries and Aaron Wan Bissaka and a swap deal. United have been linked with Dumfries for Inter Milan for a few years now, and it seems as though there's reports, I think, in the Daily Mail that United could be looking at swapping Wan Bissaka for Denzel Dumfries. Now, I'll be honest with you, I keep saying this, I'm not keen on getting rid of Aaron Wan Bissaka. I know he's only got a year left on his deal. I think the right-back situation with Diogo Dalot and Aaron Wan Bissaka is perfect. I think it works. I think Dalot's your first choice. I think Aaron Wan Bissaka could come in as backup. I think he's a different type of defender. I don't think he's as horrendous going forward as some people make out. I know he's not as good as Dalot. And I also think he's a bit of a specialist as well. You look at that FA Cup final, Jeremy Doku comes on, Aaron Wan Bissaka does a job on him. I know he got a goal, but that weren't Wan Bissaka's fault. You look at the season before, similar situation. You're at Wembley. Dalot gets booked in the first half against Alan Saint-Maximin. You bring on Aaron Wan Bissaka, who puts him in his pocket and helps Manchester United win the Carabao Cup. So for me, I would keep Aaron Wan Bissaka, but it seems that Manchester United feel otherwise. Maybe it's because he's not going to sign a new deal. Maybe he feels like he's not wanted. I don't know. But United look like they've been trying to get rid of him. Denzel Dumfries as a swap deal looks like it could be the latest move that happens there for Manchester United. We have been linked with a few other right-backs. Doesn't look like anything's happening on that front. Denzel Dumfries is the main one we seem to be in for. Been linked with him for a little bit of time now as well. So if a swap deal happens, that would make a lot of sense. But I, for one, would be a little bit disappointed to see Aaron Wan Bissaka leave, because I think he's a decent defender who does a job. And I think when it comes to actually defending and marking marking aggressive wingers, he's one of the best in the business. Just finally, there's a story on the back of the Express. Jadon Sancho, who does my heading, he's now decided to take time off from slagging off, you know, young black footballers and slag off white ones. He's had a go at Bruno Fernandes, saying that he's not captain material, basically. He's a quitter and all this stuff. And I don't get this argument about Bruno Fernandes. Bruno Fernandes, since he's arrived at Manchester United, has been a phenomenon. Look at his numbers. Look at what he's done. Look where we were when he came in and look where we are now. We wouldn't have the trophies we've won over the last 2 seasons without Bruno Fernandes. In terms of goals and assists, he weighs in with the sort of numbers you've never seen before in the Premier League. I think he was breaking records when he first arrived. And even when his numbers have tailed off, his performances haven't. It gives you so much. And when people say, oh, Bruno's not captain material, okay, then fine, who is? Every time you ask this question, people make other suggestions. Look at those suggestions. People have said in the past, Casemiro should be captain. I was hearing that last season. You don't even know if Casemiro's going to be around for much longer. And also, if he is sticking around, is he even going to be in the first team? Probably not. Then you look at some of the other sort of candidates that have been mentioned. People saying Lisandro Martinez. I love Lisandro Martinez. Is he captain? I'm not so sure. He's just had a season where he's basically injured all season. I think Bruno Fernandes is far and away the standout candidate to be captain. I don't think he's done anything at all to warrant being stripped of it, and I don't think Manchester United should be looking at moving him on. So I think Jadon Sancho is talking absolute rubbish as per usual. Make sure you're getting involved in the chat in the comments. Make sure you are hitting like, share, and subscribe. I'm going to be back later on today with The Brew. I think it's going to be myself, Stephen Howson, and Adam McCall who's joining us for that one. So don't forget to hit like, share, and subscribe. Thanks for watching.